How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Scarlet, and welcome back to a brand new rumor video on PokeForward. Today we're going to be talking about the most recent rumors that have cropped up. One of them is this one right here from r/PokeLeaks, which I don't know if this one is, real or not. There's always, speculation about these things, but I like covering them. I think it's fun. So we're going to be doing that right now today. We're going to be starting with this one. This was posted by Garbunzo Bean over on r/PokeLeaks, which is a Reddit subreddit rather, where people post a lot of leaks, rumors, stuff like that, stuff that happens within the leaking community. So I just thought I'd mention that. Either way, a DLC 1 of 4, Genjitsudon, the crystalline shell Pokemon. So this is basically suggesting that this is going to be a 4-part DLC, which, I mean, I already suggested that there could be a possible, perhaps a possible, I don't know if the right word is a possible, 3-part DLC, but I don't even know if that will be the case. But either way, it continues on. Ability to bring fantasies to reality like the Veld. Summer break, so no more uniform. Still allowed to wear it in full body selection, though. So this is actually interesting. This is another thing that, I suggested together with Camtendo during our podcasts on Tuesdays. By the way, we live stream that on the main channel Rallet, but the podcast VODs will be posted on PokeForward. So either way, what was I saying? Right, so basically what I'm trying to get across here is that this is something we already suggested. We already said that this could be a possibility because it makes sense, right? Like, I suggested there could be 2 DLC. One DLC where you go to an island, which is based on the Canary Islands, Madeira, Ibiza, any of those like Spanish or Portuguese islands that exist around there. Because that's what Paldea is based on, Spain and Portugal, that it could go to one of those islands, and one of those islands could be owned by Nemona's parents. And this is something you could do at any point in the game, like that you're allowed to go there as a kind of, little vacation thingy, right? And then you're allowed to wear your regular outfits. And then it says here, Humid Storm, which is a water fire type, and Iron Blade is a psychic grass type. That will be the names of the Virizion and Suicune, apparently. But again, that's just what they're suggesting. And then it says Giant Gem, which is a rock ghost type, Sableye, which is a Mega Sableye, but more teethy and rugged. Okay, that actually seems pretty decent. Feral Stripes, Dark Psychic, is a Furret. Ooh, I like that. A Dark Psychic type, I like that. Feral Stripes, Furret. Caveman Furret becomes Snake-like. Ooh, actually, that really sounds like a cool idea. I'm not even gonna lie. Actually, dude, Furret doesn't get enough love, okay? Furret does not get enough love. So I think this would be a really sick idea. But nonetheless, let's continue on. So, that's the first few. Gaseous Newt, a poison dark type, Salandit. Ooh, okay. Masculine Salandit could pass as an Evo. That actually would be really cool. That actually would be really sick. And then Iron Jet, a flying steel type. This is for the violet version. Flying steel Dustox looks like a mini combat jet plane, Combat 7 plane. Okay, so a mini jet plane Dustox. Actually, kind of sounds like a sick idea. Iron Faucet, Water Ground, a Heatmore. They turned it into a water faucet. Okay. Interesting. That is very different. Iron Cloud is a Fairy Electric Altaria, Mega Altaria, but metallic, and the pups are various flavors of cotton candy. Actually sounds, again, really freaking cool. There are more, but I don't have access to them yet. Not implemented yet. Storyline name is Deeper and Darker. That is a bit of a... I don't know if that's real. I don't really know if that's what they would call it. But other than that, everything here sounds like cool, I guess is what the right word would be, right? Like, it actually sounds like a reasonable idea. Again, he says this is the 1 of the 4, right? Implying that there is 3 more DLC, which personally, I'm gonna be real, I'm kind of for the idea of there being 4 DLC, right? For them to spread this game out for a while, leading into next year. That's personally what I think. Or just to have more games, more DLC throughout this year, right? So maybe one in, I don't know, let's say one in May, right? One in May, then one in, one in May, then one in what's a good way to, I don't know, August, September, maybe May, July, September, November, something like that. Or they can do it one in June, one in November, one in February or something like that in 2024. That's some of the reasonable ways I can see them going with this. But again, I'm just speculating here. I don't really know what exactly they're going to do. just thought I would mention that. But yeah, so this is one of the first things we saw today. There is more stuff to talk about though, okay? Which is going to be something here from Soul Silver Art. If you don't know who Soul Silver is of course a leak analyst who speculates on stuff and does coverage on Pokemon leaks and things like that. But he said super interesting that they basically redid all the BDSP sprites for Scarlet and Violet, but an odd decision in my opinion. I really like the BDSP ones, but the Scarlet and Violet ones are just as well done. What's even bigger are the recent home model updates, like the color upgrades. And then he also has a post further down here. But basically, what's this talking about? Well, Namon Enk says that, as you know, some menu sprites between BDSP and Scarlet and Violet were redrawn or modified. Check the Charizard color, head size, etc. Which, yes, you can see right here. They clearly changed it. They muted those kind of like expressive colors and they muted them down, made them a little bit more, from this kind of orange down to this more muted color orange, but more detailed, I guess, with stuff. But yeah, either way, that was one of the things. But here they also changed the BDSP ones, I guess, and things along those lines. Then here's another look at the sprite change. It kind of makes sense. They would draw the new ones from the home models, streamlining basically. Which you've got, you can see what they're talking about right there. But yeah, based on the eye placement and ears, you can see the model is quite similar to the icon. The Scarlet and Violet is quite different, so probably when they redid the model with new eyes, etc., they decided to change it a bit and redraw the sprite to make it similar to the new model, which is fair. Now again, is this the case? Well, we don't know. What does this mean? It could mean really anything, but I just thought it'd be worth to mention it. So again, there's that. Let's move on to the next thing, which is this right here. So shout out to Lindsay Sensei, by the way, for sending it my way. So Lindsay actually asked him if it's okay for me to share this. He said, go for it. He's just trying to make connections in theories and stuff here. So take this with a grain of salt, okay? That's what I'm going to say. But basically, he says, this looks like a pineapple to me, if you look at the size of the third legendary. So that's the top image right there. The top image right there, if you don't know what that is, that's the third legendary, as speculated and based on what we know from the actual games of Scarlet and Violet. And it does kind of look like a freaking pineapple. And is the Azero's, and this is also the Azores national fruit. Pineapples are known as the fruit king because they have a crown. Also, the shape that the pineapple has in their peels are very similar to the ones in that drawing, which, yes, it is actually very similar. It also kind of looks like an egg sometimes. But yeah, it definitely looks like a pineapple. I think that's the closest thing I've heard, as a decent comparison to a fruit. Because remember, Scarlet and Violet are both based on fruits. One is oranges and the other one is grapes, okay? So there is definitely a fruit connection. So if you think about, the Scarlet and Violet, emblems and the logos and the colors, we can imagine, okay, Scarlet and Violet are the equivalent of, I guess red and purple. I mean, Scarlet and Violet are, two separate colors. But if we think of them as red and purple, then the middle one, in this case, I would see as either green or orange. One of those two colors, right, would be the perfect one in the middle. And guess what? A pineapple has both of those. So, it perfectly matches up for a possible DLC kind of, logo design and stuff like that. And again, it's just a small thing about this. He also continues and says, a weird one indeed. The word coup gave us has a lot of meaning. So this is what he's referring to when he says coup here, is actually this post, which I think if we go over to the r/PokeLeaks here, I think there is still there's actually a post about this. If you guys don't know what he's referring to, we're going to find exactly what he's talking about here. So Ku is a Riddler who's leaked stuff in the past. I'm just mentioning this because some people don't know this, but Ku, the Riddler, is a genuine leaker. He has genuine information. He's been correct in the past. We know what he says is real. And he says, want to know what the code name of the DLC project for Titan is? And then it's some Japanese text right there. Enjoy, it's code breaking time. He wants people to, kind of figure out what he's trying to say here. Well, Lindsay says that one of the words that he gave us that we tried to translate it to came to the word beard/lots of hair. Remember when I gave you the Adamastor theory, which is of this kind of, I don't even know if God is the right word. He seems pretty hairy to me, which is this kind of water god up here. So what if we get a new Reggie? How come, you ask? Well, Adamastor is the son of the OG Gaia, which is aka Mother Earth, which actually, yes, is very true. And this means he's a Titan, just like the code name for the new games. Also, REGI'S is based on her, and all Regis are Titans, and they are its sons. So does this mean there is a possibility for us to have a Reggie Aqua, which actually is something I want to talk about. I do think us getting more Regis is highly possible, okay? Very, very highly possible. Why? Okay, because for whatever reason, we got Regieleki and Regidrago. Or Drago, whatever. We got those in Sword and Shield. A very unexpected thing that I don't think anybody saw coming, okay? I don't think anybody saw that specifically happening, and it did happen. So I think it is possible, especially with all these connections to literal planetary size, like, entities and stuff. So again, a lot of possibilities. And he continues on and says, also, this is the same boat as the one in the first image. So if we're talking about first image, there's a boat here that's kind of sailing on top of this legendary, which kind of makes it look like this planet almost, right? Almost like the planetary-sized Pokemon with possibly the tip of it sticking out in Paldea, which is actually something that was mentioned specifically right here as well from Dusty, who said that, the Area 0 is the crown of the third legendary. The third legendary is the World Turtle. Paldea is the world. Now, I don't know if it's the World Turtle. I'm starting to doubt more and more that it's the literal World Turtle, unless the World Turtle, can like manifest things. I'm not really certain about that. But Soul says here, I don't know how I hadn't made this connection. The mountains of Great Paldea are actually shaped like the crown coming out of under the ground. This could mean something literal, or it could just be a nice theming detail, or it could just be a coincidence. Well, it could just be a coincidence. That's also very highly possible. Paldea does kind of look like the Terry Parchet's flat Discworld as well, and it's going to lead us perfectly into something else that's being talked about with the Discworld. But either way, it says which is where many of us assume the third legendary got inspiration from. Ultimately goes back to the World Turtle. Also, the Paradox Donphan's elephants just happen to be running around above and below Paldea, which is true, and there is elephants, on the World Turtle here underneath it, and, well, I guess above it too, which, yeah, again, it could be the World Turtle, could be something else. We'll have to wait and see how this all pans out again. This is kind of the problem with these theories, is that they really could go any way. And Discworld is a comic fantasy book series written by English author Terry Pratchett, set on the Discworld, a flat planet balanced on the backs of 4 elephants, which in turn stand on the back of a giant turtle. The series began in 1983 with The Color of Magic and continued until the final novel, The Shepherd's Crown, which there's interestingly mention of a crown there. But yeah, again, this also comes in with what Someric posted here, which is a few videos that actually go into the disc Pokemon and stuff, and he says it's basically proposed that the disc, Eternatus, and Necrozma Pokemon would be related to each other in some way, which, yes, there's a lot of connections between all of them, and we still have to be kind of wondering what the actual connection is. But yeah, so what are my thoughts on this? I personally think the third legendary is the equivalent of some form of an alien that crashed into our planet, right? A large size thing. Created the crater, right, which is definitely connected to it because this Pokemon creates those crystals. Those crystals are a part of it. And if you look at the top of Paldea, if we just go here and take a picture of the map, just open up the map real quick. If you actually look around the right side of Paldea, you'll see that you have those same kind of like the tips on the top of the right side here. The tips of those mountains. This is something that Cam Tendo mentioned. Shout out to Cam. Check him out. It's going to be linked down below to his channel always, so just check him out. But Cam mentioned that it kind of looks like dead crystals. Like these are crystals that don't have a connection to the third legendary anymore. Like the third legendary doesn't inhabit these. And it's almost like the third legendary is a bit of a parasite. It's a parasite that spreads itself, its crystals, all around the region, but currently it's left this top part up here. It's not connected to that part anymore, right? And that, yes, the crystals we see over there, with like the whole idea of basically this Pokemon manifesting things into reality. That's kind of the way we are viewing this. But again, anything is possible. I just want you guys' thoughts and opinions on this. And I think we're going to be ending the video right here. I want to thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, which would be really awesome to hit. So thank you all for the support. Thank you all for the love. Freaking love you guys. Thank you for all the help getting this channel off the ground and just generally helping out and supporting this. So thank you again for watching. I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Peace out and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.